Welcome back, guys. My name is Patrick. This is the Fanatic Rundown. Edmonton Oilers 8, Los Angeles Kings 2. The Edmonton Oilers take a 2-1 series lead. They have now scored 17 goals in the first 3 games of the series. If I just told you that now, you would think the Oilers would be up 3-0 in this series. But despite all those goals, the Kings have actually played quite well. The Oilers outplayed them in Game 2 clearly in that 6-0 victory, but for it being an 8-2 Oilers win tonight, if you didn't watch the game, you would think the Oilers just wiped the floor with them, but the Kings actually played really well tonight, and for pretty much large portions of this hockey game, the Kings controlled the play, but Mike Smith was excellent, and for as well as the Kings played, you really can't say they played that well defensively. They were on the attack a lot. The Kings outshot the Oilers 46-37. So Mike Smith with 44 saves tonight, coming off a 30-save shutout. So Mike Smith has been excellent so far in this series for the Oilers. His only really big gaffe was the 4-3 goal for the Kings in Game 1. Since then, Mike Smith has been pretty much stellar for the Oilers. And the Oilers tonight chase Jonathan Quick. And I want to say that Jonathan Quick hasn't been bad, but the Oilers did score 6 goals on him in Game 2, another 4 goals on him tonight. Cal Petersen goes on in relief. The Oilers score another 4 goals on Cal Petersen. I don't know if it's really the Kings' goaltending at fault or the Kings' defense just hasn't been good enough when it counts. They looked decent in Game 1, but still even in Game 1, the Oilers still scored 3 goals in that hockey game. I believe I remember 2 of them on the power play, but the Oilers have just found a way just to take this series over offensively. Like I said, the Kings controlled large portions of this hockey game, and with watching it from start to finish, it's really shocking that the Oilers come away with an 8-2 victory tonight. You would think the Kings deserved a much better fate, but the Oilers just ate up pretty much every offensive opportunity they had. The Kings were out shooting the Oilers by a large margin for at least half, 3/4 of this hockey game, but the Oilers were very opportunistic, chased Jonathan Quick, and 8-2 is your final, and you know what? The Oilers will take it. They go up 2-1 in the series, but just really felt I had to point out this wasn't like a complete slaughter for the Oilers. The Kings played well offensively, but the Oilers just completely take them over defensively. Goaltending hasn't been good enough for the Kings for the last 2 games, and as a result, the Oilers are up 2-1. Scoring tonight, Evander Kane, a hat trick. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 2 goals. Zach Hyman, 2 goals. And Leon Draisaitl with another goal tonight, the first goal of the hockey game for the Oilers. I mentioned in my last video that I felt the first goal was really important. The Oilers got it right away tonight, had a quick 2-0 lead in this hockey game. The Kings really started pushing back after that 2-0 lead, and like I said, that's basically where they started controlling the majority of the hockey game. They basically dominated the rest of the first period after the Oilers went up 2-0. Early parts of the second, but the Oilers were opportunistic when they were given chances and just started running up the score. So like I said, Leon Draisaitl got things started tonight for the Oilers. 2-on-2 rush, Connor and Leon up the ice. Connor, a beautiful cross-ice feed to Draisaitl. He buries it behind Jonathan Quick. And just about 3 minutes later on the power play, Connor McDavid with another beautiful feed, this time to Zach Hyman at the side of the net. He buries it, puts the Oilers up 2-0, another power play goal for the Oilers, and they take a 2-0 lead into the second period. And just over 6 minutes into the second, Evander Kane gets his first of the night, puts the Oilers up 3-0, and just over a minute later, Zach Hyman, beautiful play, buries his second of the night. It's 4-0 Oilers. And just over 2 minutes later, the LA Kings have pulled Jonathan Quick, but the Oilers are not done yet. Evander Kane gets his second of the night, puts the Oilers up 5-0, and it looks like the Oilers are going to completely run away with it again for the second night, but the Kings get some life. Anze Kopitar, unassisted, makes it 5-1, and then Phillip Danault, who has been a force for the Kings in this series, buries the puck from the blue paint, makes it 5-2 going into the third period, and it looks like we could possibly have a game on our hands heading into the third. The Kings open the third on the power play, can't bury one. The Oilers keep him at bay for the next 14 minutes, and then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins gets in on the action with some insurance, picking up a pair of goals, putting the Oilers up 6-2 and 7-2. And then the final marker of the night, Evander Kane picks up his hat-trick goal with just 20 seconds left, putting the Oilers up 8-2. The Hats are flying in LA and at home at Rogers Place as the home crowd watches on. And guys, it's a great feeling. I think we were all feeling a little uneasy after that 4-3 Kings win in Game 1, but to come back with 6-0, 8-2 victories. I was much happier with the Oilers' overall performance in Game 2, but of course it's hard to be upset, right? When your team comes out, scores 8 goals, they only give up 2. Mike Smith was excellent again. The Oilers were really strong defensively tonight. The Kings had their chances, but they didn't have a ton of really high-quality dangerous scoring chances, so the Oilers did an excellent job in that regard, but I think the Oilers just sat back for too much of this hockey game. They let the Kings control too much of it. It worked out all right for them tonight, but it could be a bit of a recipe for disaster in future hockey games if the Oilers aren't able to get goals their way. So far, offense has not been a problem in this series for the Oilers, but if it did dry up for any reason and the Oilers aren't getting their chances and the Kings are getting the majority of the chances, we all know how badly that could go. But like I said, that's a bit too much doom and gloom. The Oilers are coming off 6-0 and 8-2 victory, so overall I'm pretty happy, but I just want to point out that despite it being an 8-2 victory, I think the Oilers can be much better. So let's hope they get back to that kind of effort we saw in Game 2 and Game 4, and the Oilers could be headed home with a 3-1 series lead and a chance to wrap this up in 5 games. But as I said last time, I'm sure the Kings are going to come back with a really strong effort. They're going to want to tie this thing up, so the Oilers definitely have to be at their best in Game 4 to take a 3-1 series lead back to Edmonton. My player of the game tonight is Evander Kane with a hat-trick performance. He was excellent tonight, as were a handful of other Oilers. And my play of the game tonight, Connor McDavid's beautiful feed over to Leon Draisaitl for the 1-0 Oilers goal tonight. As I've said, the first goal is really important. The Oilers get it again, and it was an absolute beauty. Well, that's all for me for tonight, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan. I'll see you guys for Game 4. Let's go, Oilers.